Rain crashing through Muncie tonight. How much flooding we can expect?
President Joe Biden made a big announcement in Ohio today when and how the Buckeye State could see change.
The president also spoke out on the Ukraine-Russia conflict, why he is preparing for the worst.
Temperatures are below freezing now and we're tracking snow. I'll have more coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Joey Moore.
And I'm Angelica Gonzalez. Delaware County is under a flash flooding advisory tonight, and surrounding areas like Eaton County are already seeing the effects. They're expecting Mississinawa River to crest and flood at the area at midnight. The last time the river flooded, the entire town of Granville had to be evacuated.
Yeah, Angelica, and we're starting to see some flooding of our own here. NewsLink Indiana weather forecaster Maddie Johnson is live on campus right now to give us a look. Maddie, what's it like out there?
I'm out here on the quad. We're in between North Quad Building and the Art Museum. We're starting to see the ice and the snow come down as the temperatures fall. That rain is changing to a mixture of mixed precipitation. Now, we did see an inch of rain here in Muncie today, so our biggest concern tonight is the flooding. As you can see off to my left, we're starting to see some ponding of water on the sidewalks as well as in the grassy surfaces in the trees behind me here in the quad. Now, we're also starting to see that snow start to stick to the sidewalks, so it's creating a very slippery situation out here on the sidewalks and the roads tonight here on campus. And this isn't just the case on the quad, this is the case in most areas across campus, as we've seen this flooding today exacerbated by the heavy rainfall that we saw as well as the melting snowpack today. So if you do encounter any water on the roadways tonight, please turn around and find an alternate route. Turn around, don't drown, and I'll have more updates later on in the show about the road conditions and what we can expect heading into later tonight.
Thank you, Maddie. We'll continue to give you live weather updates throughout the show.
And we have a special road coverage, safety road coverage ahead. For now, let's send it to weather forecaster Jack Van Meter for the look at the weather.
Yeah, so as we see the temperatures here, like I said earlier, we're below freezing now. So as Maddie was saying, we're going to be seeing some of that snow coming in. We're at 28 Indianapolis, and then here in Muncie, we're at 30 then. This is pretty cool here. So this is the 24-hour temperature change there. We had a big cold front come through earlier today, and you can see the effects of that on the map there. I mean, Muncie here is 25 degrees colder than we were yesterday. That's pretty impressive for 24 hours there. And then what we're tracking throughout the show here, so we have ongoing flooding, as Maddie was saying there. We're also underneath a winter weather advisory, and we could be looking at some flash freezing tonight.
Thank you, Jack. Moving on to student government, the third and final debate just wrapped up.
NewsLink Indiana's Madeline Kerr was at the debate tonight. And Madeline, what did you say their final push was?
Yeah, guys, I got the chance to watch the debate tonight, and Rice talked about their goals and what they're going to do if elected. Presidential candidate Tina Nguyen and vice presidential candidate Monet Lindstrand sat down to discuss their strengths and weaknesses. RISE is the only ticket running this year, so the debate functioned more like a town hall. The candidates got the chance to talk about their qualifications, the biggest challenges in their previous term, and why they chose to run again for student government. Students in attendance were also given the floor to ask questions as well. Despite the multiple topics discussed, Nguyen and Lindstrand stressed that their overarching focus is doing what is best for students.
We want you guys to call us out if we aren't amplifying your voices, or we're doing something that's going against what you perceive to be your rights as students. Because at the end of the day, Monet and I, we want to rise to the occasion and do what's best for the student body.
SGA elections are this Monday and Tuesday, and students should keep an eye out for an email from SGA with information on how to vote.
Thank you, Madeline. You can see some extra refund money this tax season. Indiana lawmakers approve a proposal expanding the number of people eligible for $125 payments this spring. That's under the state's automatic taxpayer refund law. They come after a big jump in state tax collection following the refund law being triggered for the first time in 10 years. The UANIS vote also made 450,000 people eligible who don't have enough income to own state taxes. The payment will come by May 1st.
New Indiana Department of Health guidance was announced for K through 12 schools throughout the state today. It came in response to declining numbers of COVID-19 cases. Schools no longer have to contact, trace, or report positive cases. Students do not have to quarantine if they come into contact with somebody who tests positive. As for Ball State, the last update to the university's response plan was just last month, when it announced fully vaccinated people are not expected to quarantine after exposure to someone with COVID-19 if they remain asymptomatic.
President Joe Biden made a big announcement in Ohio today. He announced the infrastructure law will put $1 billion into Great Lakes Restoration Program. The extra money will help finish cleanup of harbors and rivers polluted from industrial waste. The Great Lakes area was home to 31 U.S. toxic hotspots in 1987. Now, they've cleaned up all but 3 supports for the cleanup has been universal across both congressional parties. President Biden expects Russia to invade Ukraine this week. Today, the president told reporters Moscow may start a false flag operation that could ignite military action.
This despite the Kremlin's claims that its forces are withdrawing.
Every indication we have is they're prepared to go into Ukraine, attack Ukraine. My sense this will happen within the next several days.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke at the United Nations to stress there's a diplomatic way to get out of this situation after Russia expelled the second most senior diplomat at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow today, and according to a State Department spokesperson, the expulsion is not justified. The Biden administration is viewing the step as an escalation. We'll continue to keep you updated as the situation progresses.
Fears of the invasion sent stocks on a downward spiral today. It suffered its worst day of the year after President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken announcements. War in Ukraine could send shockwaves through the global oil market, especially if U.S. and European nations get involved. Today's sell-off began at opening bell and continued throughout the session.
A judge rules Thursday that former President Donald Trump and 2 of his adult children must testify in the New York Attorney General's civil investigation of the Trump Organization's business practices. The former president, Ivanka Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. were seeking to block the subpoenas from AG Letitia James, while James wanted the court to order the Trumps to comply and hand over certain documents. James is looking into whether Trump misled lenders, insurers, or others in his financial statements. In the end, the judge ruled that the Trumps would have to sit for depositions within 21 days of his order. Back here in Muncie, this Saturday, Chameleon College of Beauty Culture will partner with the Boys and Girls Club to bring haircuts to kids in need. But for some, it's about more than just hair.
A haircut may be a routine appointment for some, but for a few kids in the Boys and Girls Club, this Saturday will be a free opportunity.
So through Club Cuts, we are going to be able to just give back a little bit. We are giving $3 haircuts as well as free haircuts to those involved in the Boys and Girls Club to channel what we have and what we are doing and growing as a school to give back to those who typically don't have these kind of resources and opportunities.
And for hair students like Sky, giving back their passion is just as rewarding.
So just to be able to do what I can and channel my talents and my training to be expertise, if I can utilize that and give back in any sort of way, help someone even just look in the mirror and feel better about themselves, and given that they didn't have the chance or opportunity to, that's the most meaningful thing.
Because something as simple as hair can make all the difference.
We are our hair, we wear our hair on a daily basis.
This event is free for members, but is $3 otherwise. The event starts at 10 a.m. Saturday and will go through 4 p.m.
Mortgage rates are at their highest in 10 years. Find out why next.
And we're hitting the roads tonight to tell you how to stay safe in the winter weather.
If you are planning to buy a new house and don't already have a low interest mortgage, you're quickly running out of luck. Mortgage rates in the U.S. have risen again.
The average 30-year fixed mortgage is now 3.92%. That's the highest since the summer of 2019. Part of that jump is due to inflation and stronger than expected consumer spending.
Check your cabinets. The FDA says 2 kinds of deodorants are being recalled due to concerns of a cancer-causing chemical. HRB brands are recalling 4 types of Brut deodorant sprays and 2 types of Sure antiperspirant sprays. Officials are concerned about the presence of the chemical benzene. Don't worry, it is not an ingredient in the products, but unexpected levels of benzene were discovered in the propellant used for the spray cans. The recall items have an expiration date on or before August 2023. The FDA advises people with the products to discard them immediately.
Peloton is pedaling into the gaming business today. The exercise equipment company launched Peloton Lane Break, a new workout that combines gaming-inspired fitness content with music. They say Lane Break is specifically designed for the Peloton Bike and Peloton Bike Plus, and is available to those with all-access memberships. Riders control an animated wheel on Lane Break and must match the cues given on their bike's tablets. Players control the game with the bike's pedals and resistance knob. There are 3 tips to reach the highest score. Stay in the right lane, be fast, and keep up. At the end of the ride, Lane Break reveals the top-ranked riders on a leaderboard. While many are probably planning to stay inside tonight, some are still going to have to get out on those roads.
This rain and potentially ice can definitely cause concerns for drivers. Newslink Indiana Anna Keister is out on the road to give us the latest. Annie?
Yeah, good evening, guys. I'm here with Newslink Indiana's Anna Chalker, who's driving us safely through this winter weather. And we're actually pulling out of the Beacon Hill Apartments right now, just off campus, off of New York Avenue, where standstill water in the parking lot was nearly 2 inches. And while it's not an option for some to stay safe on these roads or to get out on these roads tonight, I do want to go ahead and show you what we're looking at. And no, that's not just the camera. That's really what your windshield looks like while driving tonight. So ISP has a few tips on flood safety when driving. Be vigilant at night. Of course, it's more difficult to see when it's more difficult to see the water that you could be driving through. Do not ever cross through barricades. Those are up for your safety. And of course, don't enter flowing water. It's a misconception that driving fast through high water could get you through, but actually faster speeds create less tire traction with the road surface, and it actually increases your chance of crashing. And if you do find yourself stranded in flooded waters, remain calm and do call 911. Now, one thing I want to note tonight as we've been driving, even just hitting a small pothole can cause a rush of water on your windshield. So you definitely want to be aware as you're out tonight. And we'll continue to keep you updated throughout this newscast on air and.
Thank you, Annie. And even from in here, it looks so cold out there. I can't imagine being out there.
I would have to agree with you. I'm not ready to take the drive back home. Now let's take a look at weather.
Yeah, so right now, much of our viewing area is under a winter weather advisory. We'll have more of that coming up on the next.